doing Wilt Chamberlain type stuff now.
Nikola Jokic isn't just leading the MVP race. He's practically hijacking the entire league this season. His stats look unreal. Nearly 30 points a night, grabbing rebounds like they weigh nothing, dropping more than 11 assists like a full-time point guard, and doing it all with efficiency that feels unfair. It's like he's playing a different sport. Once you start digging into the records, things get even crazier. Jokic is carrying a PER of 37.0, the highest single-season mark in NBA history. Higher than Giannis, higher than Wilt, and higher than any season Jokic himself has ever had. This isn't just elite. This is a new standard the rest of the league has to chase. When you check efficiency among players scoring 30 or more per game, Jokic sits at number 1 there as well. He holds the title for the most efficient 30-point season ever ahead of Curry, Giannis, and Adrian Dantley. That's legendary territory, and he's walking through it like it's routine. It doesn't stop there. Jokic is already top 3 all-time in triple-doubles, trailing only Russell Westbrook and Oscar Robertson, and he keeps stacking more almost every week. He's also number 1 in NBA history in win shares per 48 minutes, sitting above Michael Jordan, David Robinson, LeBron James, and Wilt Chamberlain. That stat measures pure impact, and Jokic is chilling alone at the top. Scroll through any leaderboard this season, and his name pops up everywhere. Rebounds, assists, total rebounds, defensive boards, assist percentage, offensive rating, win shares, box plus minus. It starts to feel like a challenge, just trying to find something he isn't leading.
Every 100 possessions that he's on the court, I want you to listen to what I'm about to say. I'm going to try to keep it under control. Every 100 possessions he's on the court, the Nuggets are scoring 151 points. Every 100 possessions he's on the court defensively, the Nuggets are giving up 104 points. That means every 100 possessions he's out there, the Nuggets are outscoring the opposition by 47 points. Okay?
This isn't just an MVP run. This is one of those once-in-a-generation seasons people talk about decades from now. The type of season where future players say, yeah, that Jokic year was unreal. When someone breaks records left and right and outshines legends effortlessly, the story around them turns wild too. Once you realize how historic Jokic's season truly is, everything happening in Denver starts to look far more dangerous. The league might not be ready for what comes next. Every season, there's one matchup where a team shows its real identity. For Denver, that wake-up call hit loudly when they ran into the Rockets. Houston has been one of the toughest squads this year, so walking into their building without Aaron Gordon, who got injured within 3 minutes, and without Christian Braun should have been a terrible sign. Road game, NBA Cup atmosphere, everything pointing toward a trap. Denver flipped the script completely. They didn't just squeeze out a win. They walked in calm, controlled the pace, absorbed every run Houston tried to put together, and looked like the same cold, veteran crew the Western Conference hoped would stay asleep. This wasn't just about matchups. It showed what kind of machine Denver still is. Houston usually needs only 2 things to ruin your night: clamp down on defense and drag you into their chaotic rhythm.
Jokic is doing stuff. It's wild, man. He's shooting 78% on 2-pointers. 78.
Yeah, that's a high
okay.
number.
He's leading the league in rebounds. He's leading the league in assists.
Somehow Denver matched them step for step. They held the Rockets to 12 points in the first quarter, survived Reed Shepherd dropping 27, dealt with Houston grabbing 17 offensive rebounds, and still stayed composed when the pressure got tight. This game boiled down to 3 things. The first was Denver flipping that hidden defensive switch they only use when it really matters. Even with Houston smashing the offensive glass, Denver held them to 7 for 17 on second-chance shots, forced difficult mid-range attempts, rotated sharply, and refused to let Shepherd's hot stretch turn into a full takeover. The second key was Nikola Jokic solving every tactic Houston tried like he was working through homework. He dropped 34 points, grabbed 10 rebounds, and handed out 9 assists. Even those numbers don't show how completely he controlled the night. Every mid-range shot they dared him to take went down. Every moment Jamal Murray struggled to find rhythm, Jokic slowed the pace and kept everyone steady. He even guarded Singing straight up and made the biggest plays when the pressure peaked. This was one of those nights where the best player on the floor dragged the entire game into his own rhythm. And the third key was Denver's championship composure, the kind you only gain through real battles. Houston kept throwing run after run, searching for one crack to flip the game. Denver never folded for a second. They moved like a group that's lived in these situations countless times. When a team survives a night like this on the road, missing two starters with everything going sideways, it reveals something deeper.
Denver has a man who is playing at the absolute peak of his powers, and so nothing can be taken away from him. And Denver has the number 2 defense in the league.
Nights like this never happen by accident. They happen because a superstar like Jokic knows exactly when to take over and exactly how to control every detail of the game. Everything he did in this matchup is the same thing he's been doing all season. He's running the league with numbers that look unreal. 29.5 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists, nearly 2 steals, and a ridiculous 69% effective field goal percentage. Those are video game numbers that he's still the cleanest playmaker in the NBA, while also being one of the most efficient scorers. He's hitting 41% from deep, knocking down mid-range shots like practice reps, hitting 66% from 3 to 10 feet, and 67% from 10 to 16 feet. Those shots look automatic. With his size, slick footwork, and calm control off the dribble, defenders barely have anything real to throw at him. He walks in the spots he wants, takes the shots he prefers, and hits them at nearly 70%. There's no defensive scheme built to stop someone that precise. Because of that, his offensive impact is outrageous. Denver scores an extra 22.4 points per 100 possessions with Jokic on the court. That's 99th percentile dominance. Their net rating jumps to plus 24 when he's out there. That's superstar control at the highest level. People love pretending not to notice this next part. Jokic's defensive level this season matters just as much as his scoring. Anyone still calling him a weak defender simply isn't paying attention. That old narrative doesn't fit anymore. Denver elevated their defense, and Jokic is right in the center of it with sharp positioning, perfect timing, and high IQ reads that shut down plays before they happen. He does it without wild hops or elite speed, while anchoring one of the toughest defenses in the league. He's the steady piece holding everything together. He already has 3 MVP trophies at home. Yet if he keeps performing like this, it's hard to imagine anyone else taking it this season. He's leading a top seed in a brutal Western Conference, putting up basically a 30-point triple-double on 70% efficiency while being a real defensive factor. That makes his MVP case almost impossible to argue against. The wildest part? This version of Jokic feels different because Denver finally fixed 2 major issues from last season. Somehow the Nuggets turned both weaknesses into strengths, and almost nobody is talking about it. The most slept-on part of their season is how locked in they've been defensively from day one. All offseason, they talked about climbing into the top 10 range, and they actually did it. Quietly, this shift changed everything and is a massive reason Denver looks dangerous again. Nobody knew if Denver had the right mix to pull it off, but they didn't just crack the top 10. They jumped into the top 5, sitting 5th in the NBA in defensive rating and holding teams to 112.2 points per 100 possessions. They've forced opposing teams way below their averages. Their point-of-attack defense is tighter, their rotations cleaner, sharper, more organized, and Jokic is protecting the rim with the exact timing and discipline you want from a real defensive anchor that on film it pops instantly. His reads are elite. One moment, he slides over and shuts down a baseline pass. Next, he jumps an angle and blows up a pass to Drew Eubanks. Slow it down, and you can literally see him reading the entire action before it even develops.